Well, guys, KG is back like a vertebrae. I am back live and direct. No more airport vlogs, no more Hotel Cheyenne vlogs. But listen, first of all, before we get into today's game and match reaction, thank you for the support on those two videos. Mean it. It was so tough doing it, especially in the airport where the reception was a myth. There was hardly anything. That's why the first video felt like it was underwater for like 45 seconds. The Cheyenne one was better. But yeah, listen, salute to everyone for locking in. I am back, fresh, nice, easy travel day back. And I'm here to discuss a Leeds United defeat. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Couldn't write it. One of my members actually said I should stay on holiday because that's where we won all our games. So fairs. I may do that. I may do that. But look, shout out to everyone in the building. Like the video and all that good stuff. We'll get into the game. I need to shout out all the donators on the last couple of videos. Thank you to Parrot House, as always. Parrot House, SB, Mr. P, Dave Webster, and Malcolm Patrick. Thank you for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated, guys. And you know what? I know we've lost today, but I'm so glad to see all of you guys in the chat again. I really am. It's so much better doing the match reactions this way. But yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And shout out to you, Michael. Welcome back for you. Yeah. Ali saying here, pathetic performance. Why can't Wtfarke crack Eustace? And Desiree saying, sorry, KG, you have to come back to this. Yeah, I know. Marcus here. I wish this club didn't mean so much. I hear it. But watching the game, and you would never believe this team was so comfortable against Luton Town. You'd never believe it. And I have to ask the question again. We've been through this before. People think that this is probably a repeat video, but we've been through this before. What's going on with the early kickoffs? Like, why can we not prepare for early kickoffs under Daniel Wtfarke in an acceptable manner? And please don't say it was 1:30, not 12:30. You know, let's not do that. It wasn't a 3 o'clock kickoff. It was a 1:30 kickoff. It's an early kickoff today. And not for the first time we've come out looking like crap. The first half was just a joke. Second half was pretty much no better. And the automated subs, again, we're going to have to speak about this, didn't really affect the game. And bringing on a certain somebody, I don't know why you did that. But I just don't get the questions have to be asked. And I hope the journals do ask this. What is the difference in the preparation for the early games compared to evening games, afternoon games? Because there's a noticeable difference here, people. Like, it's not even like minor things. It's not even like small things. There's a massive difference as to this team looking like they've just rolled out of bed and ended up on a football pitch and tried to play football together. I honestly don't get it. And yeah, Ian here, I mean, we say it in every time we lose in a game, but yeah, by the time the 86th minute hits, the 85th minute, throw on all the attackers you've got available and hope you can get back into the game. That's not tactical management. And I don't want to get into that in full today on today's video. I want to get into that on next week's video because I was hoping we'd win the game today just so I could speak about it off the back of a couple of wins, because I don't usually like talking about these things when we've lost because it looks reactionary, but it is something to speak about in terms of our consistency. And I want to bring up our nearest rivals in terms of going for this top two and just show the difference in between the two teams. Yeah, Scott here saying when we're losing a game, you need players on the pitch who show urgency and can get around the field. Well, listen, it's not all on Daniel Wtfarke. It's not all on Daniel Wtfarke because Nanto early in the game should have put one of those two away. Had to put one of those two away. And that's the thing with Nanto. Completely get people's talk about him. I've already defended him in a way in saying that, yeah, he's getting used to a new role. He's said that himself. But when you've been given opportunities, especially in this division against these goalkeepers, you've got to do better, have to do better. And that helps us out immensely in terms of getting a result today. Look, today, in regards to today's result, especially in this loss, people, we'll speak about that as well, SB. We'll speak about that. Let me just point this out. It's one of these things, again, where we've had a lot of possession and a lot of pointless passes. It's going to be something that Daniel Wtfarke will bring up, saying we had a lot of possession, we had a lot of passes, but it's these meaningless passes that we keep doing when we're not doing much with the ball. And we were just so profligate up front today. It was a joke. You know, Peru with that one. I've already said I like Peru, but seeing him run isn't my favorite thing. And Pez, you know, closing him down. Yeah, that wasn't my favorite thing. You know, if you got like a speedier forward there, I think he gets that, and Pez has got no chance. We were wasteful today. This isn't all on Daniel Wtfarke today, but preparation is that's the manager, that's the coach. That is on Daniel Wtfarke. That is, and tactical changes. By half time, people, half time, you should have said, You should have seen that one player in particular shouldn't have been on the pitch in the second half. Someone else should have come on, and I don't understand why he keeps on getting so many minutes when it's not completely working. And I'm a fan, by the way, of Aronson. I am, but let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. The changes made today. Obviously, Sam Byram losing his place just due to injury, which we know with Sam, he's not going to be able to play 2-3 games. And it would have been a fair argument, with Sam Byram playing so well, being heavily involved in the build up to a goal, scoring a goal, getting another start. But Junior Firpo is a key member of this team at this level. So I understand Firpo coming back in, regardless of if Byram was fit. I understand the need to rotate James and Solomon. Absolutely get that. They're both coming back from, pretty big injury. So completely understand that. The one that is being run into the ground right now is Brendan Aronson. He's being run into the ground, people. And I know he hasn't got, sometimes, some people like him, some people don't. But I'm talking from a pure footballing perspective. The one thing I've always said about Brendan is he will pop up in moments. He's not doing that right now. He's not getting those moments anymore. And even the pressing at this point in time, which is one of his biggest strengths, that's key to how Wtfarke likes to play. It hasn't been that efficient. I've got to say, Michael, I'm with you. Wish everyone would stop. I think you mean spouting stats. They mean nothing. Exactly. It's that old analogy, isn't it? Stats, they're like a bikini, in it. They reveal a lot, but they don't reveal everything. One of those. But I'm just pointing out, in terms of our losses again, we would have much more of the ball. We always have lots of possession, just purely from the football team that we are. But it's about what you do with it, and that's what I always say. FVY, I think that's fair for Aronson today. Is like a bee buzzing around, but no sting. That's been fair. And the thing is, you can change it. Like for me, I guess Solomon needed a rest, people. I can understand that with his injury history. But you could put Solomon in that 10. You could even play the 2 up front. But the thing is, I get so bored of saying it because it's not going to happen. You're never going to see Peru in that 9.5 and Joseph in the 9. You're never going to see it. Not from the start of the game. It's only ever going to happen when we're behind in the game and the 86 minutes gone. That's not me being extra. That's just proof. You know what I mean? That's just proof. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. I'm not going to lie. It's a great one. No, it's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? Let me just get into some super chats, and thank you for the super chats, people. Love y'all. Theo, first of all, saying here, member of 20 months. Shout out to all my members as well. Love you. We are too inconsistent. The good results like Luton don't faze me because I know the next week or the week after we will ghost again, and that's a fair point. Hyru here saying Farke is a clown, Bamford is a clown. Say how you feel, Hyru. Our away form is inconsistent. Subs come on too late. I don't care how good our home form is. That's not good enough to get promoted. I agree. And Reese here saying the John used this 1-0 curse. In all seriousness, though, how frustrating was that? And what is Bamford doing on the pitch? That's not for me to talk about. Me, I've made my feelings very clear. And shout out to you, Carl Howe, who's become a member of the channel. Salute to you. If Bamford's on the pitch, that's down to the manager. You know what I mean? That's down to him. And at this point, I'll only try and dress it up in this bow. Maybe we're just trying to get some, eyes on him during the transfer window that's coming up in around just over a month's time. I would hope it's that, but I don't know, man. Seeing him on the pitch, that's not really boosting his value up. I've got to say, you might just want to leave him a mystery, like, ooh, what they've been like leaving back there. Is he fixed? Is he good again? Let's take a chance on him. Rather than roll him out and, clashing with, you leave Pascal's head alone, Bamford. All right, man. You stay away from big old Pascal, right? Leave him alone. Darren here saying criminal to bring Bamford on before Joseph. Mike here saying thought Nanto was going to take over the Somerville role, but he hasn't proven he's ready to do so yet. It's quite funny you say that though, Mike, because the Somerville role was Nanto's in the Premier League. It's crazy how it works, isn't it? But I completely get what you're saying. We've played 18 games now. There's more than enough time to warm up and get used to everything. I just hope now that we've got a run of games and we're going to go on a run of games now. Next one against Derby next Saturday, that we can get Nanto going and get these players going because they're key. You saw Solomon when he was playing the 2 previous games. That's the difference that we need at this level. That's the difference that we have, I should say, at this level. We need to utilize them. But you know what? Today, people, pretty much all of them were off it. Dan James was even there. And Dan James, I've been, singing his praises pretty much since we got relegated. He's been good for us. Nowhere to be seen. Joel Peru, no, not today. If there's one thing I will say though, when it comes to the January window, and I guess we'll speak about this in different videos, we do need to get a 10 in. I think that's quite important. With Ampadu coming back pretty soon, I think we're pretty much sorted in central midfield. Gilavogi's there too. We need a 10. We need a 10 because we know with our wingers, especially James and Solomon, with their recent fitness histories, we're not going to be able to take Aronson out and put Solomon in if he's played 2 games prior. So we're going to need to invest in the 10 in the January window. That's got to be probably number 1 on the list. And I get everyone saying a striker, but you're only going to get that if Bamford leaves, people. And it's as simple as that. I would agree with you getting another forward, increase the competition, but you're not going to get 4 forwards at the football club at championship level. Just not going to happen. Just not going to happen. Chris in the house, shout out to you, Chris, man. I missed you, I missed you. Problem is, KG, these little 2-3 games run are keeping Wtfarke employed, yet Leeds on the fence. Yeah, I mean, look, I wanted to point this out, and it is important because they're literally our first, second rivals. In terms of Sheffield United, I'm not speaking about the Wednesday result. That's I'm talking about the last 3 in particular. That game against Coventry was hectic, to say the least, and they've come out with a point. You know what I mean? If you're not going to win the game, just don't lose away from home. Don't lose it. And that's what they did. And they were down to 10 men for a majority of the game. Coventry were not knocking on the door, and Sheffield United came out with a 2-2 draw. Coventry felt they should have won it, and they should have. But that's the mettle that Sheffield United shown. They weren't going to get beaten. Routine win against Oxford. That's what they've been doing as well, people. Just 2-0, 3-0, just moving on to the next game. La-di-da. And I don't want to hear about scheduling because Sheffield United played last night. They played on Friday night. Tough game against the IQ of the league in Sunderland, just draws everywhere. And you're thinking it's going to be another draw after both teams get 1 player sent off each. Sheffield United, with Tom Davis, of all people, come up with a winner. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. It takes those kind of results. Even when you're not playing well, you get a point, you get 3 points. And it just seems when we're not completely on it, we drop those points pretty easily, especially away from home. Especially away from home. Yeah, they had Marcus here. They had a points deduction too. I just want to point that out as well in terms of that, because they have actually, it doesn't matter because they have had a points deduction, but they have actually won 2 more games than us, and we've beaten them. So that just shows you just how well that Sheffield United are doing. That form is brilliant. That's the kind of form that you need. And we, 3 games in a row, cool. But we can't seem to get that 4th, 5th. That's what it takes, people. That's what it takes to get the top 2. Currently, as we're doing this now, Burnley are away at Stoke. It's 0-0, as you can see on the screen. But we need to be in that top 2 consistently. We need to give ourselves breathing space from the rest of this top 6. Now, listen, Blackburn had a real good result against Middlesbrough in the week. But that's where we should be the outlier in saying, that's cute against Middlesbrough, but now you're against Leeds United. What have you got? And they beat us. Natalie here saying Sheffield United will struggle without Suter. We'll see, because I thought they'd struggle without Arblaster. I thought they'd struggle without Kiefer Moore. And they're just getting on with it. Their squad is nowhere near as deep as ours, by the way, people. That's where I thought they'd be stretched, and they're still getting results. Now, with Suter out for a game, will that change in the next one? We shall see. But they've been getting on with it without Arblaster, without Kiefer Moore. In fact, Tyrese Campbell's been going on a goal scoring spree for them lately. So it seems to be with Chris Wilder, and this is why I said about Sheffield United, that why they would be my favorites to be in the top 2, one of my 2 favorites, including us, by the way, is that I feel Chris Wilder bought players in this summer that's in the mold of him. And I knew what he was planning. I knew what he was going to do. And so far, they're playing exactly how I thought they would play. It's crazy. LUFC saying you need to run 10 games, 10-game winning streak. Hey, I would love it, but we don't seem to be able to get past 3 without then losing or drawing a ridiculous game. But yeah, the early kickoff thing has to be looked into. And I do hope one of the journos ask. I think Popey will probably be the one to do it. He'll dress it up in a nice way. Daniel, the early morning thing is, it seems crazy. You've got such good home form, and, you do this, you do that. You know how Popey does it. He does it nicely. I like the way he does that sometimes. Let's have a look. Realistically, Stephen here, realistically, what do you think we could get for Bamford? I don't know. But if the rumors are to believed in terms of him being, hungry to play football, which I'm very surprised about. I thought he'd be, I got him wrong. I thought he'd just be comfortable picking up his money and letting his contract run out. But if he's desperate to play football, then he'll probably be looking to take a pay cut elsewhere, unless we top up the wages. One of those where you go to the end of the contract, he's getting paid a certain amount by another club, and we pay the rest of what he's being paid here. It could be one of those scenarios, or it could be a golden handshake, a mutual consent. I would prefer that option because I don't think we're going to get much of a transfer fee. I'll be real with you. If we do, then that's good business by Leeds. But at this point, it's just about getting rid of him. It really is. It's about having a clean break from him, utilizing that money in another area, or another striker, another 10, and getting on with it, because he's holding the club back. And it's not on him. Let me make this clear again. It's not on him. We offered him that contract. He's well within his rights to sign it. He was never worth that contract ever, but he's well within his right to sign it. But he needs to go. I don't know when it's going to happen, but that's only part of the problem, people. I don't want this to be about Bamford today, because that's just not it today. It's just not it. Keith saying here, it's a free transfer. We ain't getting a pack of Smarties. Tremendous. Oh man, yeah, early kickoff. Yeah, Paul, absolutely right. Yeah, Derby County next week is a 12:30 kickoff, but it's a home game, Paul. So maybe that will be a bit of a difference. It just seems to be when it's away and an early kickoff, we just seem to freeze up. I have no idea why. What else is there to talk about in this game today? What else is that? Okay, yeah, in terms of the penalty, you guys can have your arguments whether you think it's a penalty or not. In terms of if it's a penalty or not, it seemed the referee made his mind up very quickly. If you don't barge into him, you don't give the referee a decision to make. That's what I would say. If that contact doesn't happen, you don't see them given every week, which is the annoying thing, I guess, for people. It's very inconsistent with that kind of contact. But if you don't barge into him, guess what? Dolan's not going down. So I go off that basis. But, I knew it was, as soon as a penalty, unless they put it wide, it was going in. And Johnny Cooper here has put this stat out here. Since Rob Green saved the Jordan Rhodes penalty against Sheffield Wednesday back in February 2017, Leeds United goalkeepers have faced 46 pens. They've saved just 2 of them. That's Bailey Peacock Farrell versus Reading in 2018, and Melié's one against West Ham in 2021. So you know what I mean? It's kind of like one of those now where people are just at the point of saying that, and I've had it before on here where people say, "Are you expecting a goalkeeper to save the penalty?" It's like, well, I guess not. Then just give him a pass on not saving penalties. But listen, good penalty right in the corner. But your goalkeeper's like 6'4". Please, can you get down a little quicker? Guess not. But anyway. Richard here saying you're right about the 10 position. KG Aronson was dire. Yeah. And the thing was, it's not even like Aronson's been dire. I think he's been good for us in spells, and that's what I look for in him. I look for him to give us moments, but he's been running to the ground, man. Starting every game, no matter what, whether it's a midweek game, fresh off USA international duty, he starts every game. And I get why Danny Wtfarke likes him there. He gives the energy. But if the energy isn't given in the right way, then it's just wasted. It's a wasted position, isn't it? So that's why I think it's important that we go shopping for a 10 in the January window. Hopefully, we do get it. Get here saying deserve win by Blackburn. Yeah, no qualms about the result. We did not play well enough to win today, and it's one of those things where we're one of the better teams in the league. So when teams get a 1-0 win, once that goal goes in, they're going to slow the game down. They're going to take longer over throw-ins, free kicks, goal kicks. It's just to be expected. It's on us to change it. And in terms of that as well, I need to speak about, we've spoken about this so many times. Honestly, this feels like Groundhog Day. It really does. The timing of the subs, talked a little bit earlier about us needing a change early on in the second half. It would have been nice to see probably Aronson come out, Solomon come on early, give us a change of impotence there. First subs, as you see, triple sub, 69 minutes. And the thing is, if we know this, people, and we're just fans, okay? We're just fans. We just watch these games. We're not being paid by clubs to be tactical geniuses or anything like that. But if we know as fans that subs are coming at a certain time, then the oppositions do. I do wonder on the bench, did these guys go, oh, I wonder who's going to get the call next at 70 minutes? Because players talk. Honestly, players talk to each other, and you just wonder if they're going, who's up first? It's just predictable, isn't it? Jason here saying main talking point for me, the actual negativity on the pitch after the changes. Yeah, we got worse, which is crazy, isn't it? It's worse. We actually played worse, got more disjointed as the subs came on. It's a bad day at the office, and I'm not putting this one aside and saying just move on. I want to know why this happens at early kickoffs away from home, but it's a bad one, especially after such a comfortable performance against Luton, and that game where every team before us did what they were supposed to do. We moved down to third, fourth in the table, and we just took Luton on and just dismantled them. It was an easy night at the office, wasn't it? And then we come out today and just look absolutely flat, isn't it? Ali here saying, why not make a halftime change? It's not working, so be brave. Michael here saying, subs, players know the timings too, so they coast along for 70 minutes. That does happen. That does happen. Tintin saying, rubbish in game management. Yep. SB here saying, Wtfarke makes subs to bring on fresh players. That's it. He has no ability to change the structure of the team to react to how the opposition is set up. Yeah, I agree with that as well. We see it in other games, not just this one, even though they did make a change before us, but teams can be losing or we can be drawing, and those teams will make changes and we just stand pat, even if it looks like it needs something changed, a little jolt, a little something different. We just stay until that good old 69th, 70, 71st minute. Yeah, it is what it is at this point, isn't it? Oaksy here saying, if we spent money on a proper 10, we'd be 9 points clear now. The lack of creativity is shocking. Yeah. We were back today to that old, and Aronson was guilty of this as well, where we need 2-3 touches and the clear lane to take a shot rather than the one-touch football where it just leaves defenders bamboozled. They're not able to get back in their blocks. We didn't do enough of that today. Nowhere near enough of that today for me. But yeah, people, I don't think there's much more to say on this game. I really don't. If there's anything else, we will come back. We're going to be coming back with videos anyway. I've got a few things to speak of. Not sure if it's going to be tomorrow or Monday. See how I feel tomorrow, because like I say, I've literally just come back from traveling from early this morning. So you know what I mean. Wtfarke speaking now. Shall I get his comments now, or shall we wait? We'll wait. We'll wait for the next video. Okay, people. We'll wait for the next one. Let me just see something. No, we'll wait for the next one. John Eustace is just saying here that he thought it was an outstanding performance by Blackburn. So fairs to him. So yeah, listen, people, that doesn't surprise me. Everyone's a top 6 size to Wtfarke. Everyone, even the team's bottom, they're in a false position. But yeah, we'll speak about what he's got to say in another video, people. But yeah, I'm going to end it here, guys. Yeah, I'm not going to do it today, Ryan. We'll do it another day, probably tomorrow. But yeah, please like the video before you go. I'm glad to be back. We're going to be back with live streams, talking all things Leeds, getting back into the groove again. Try and enjoy the rest of your weekend, people. Don't let the team get you down. It's just one result. We're still in the top 2 currently. I'll see you in the next one, people. Peace out.